Guys, welcome back to From the Blog. So this week we're focusing on what you need to know about styling the apple body shape. So to be honest, it's no surprise that a lot of people do mix up the apple and the pear body shape with all these comparisons to different fruits and so forth. So anyway, we've covered the pear anyway, and that's literally where you are heaviest at the bottom part of your body, so from waist down. Whereas with the apple, you are heavier in your middle section as well as just above your waist, so like all of this region you're widest. So you're an apple shape. As an apple, your shoulders are your broadest area, so they're broader than your hips as well, and then your waist is not very defined at all. So as I mentioned previously, you're top heavy. So in terms of this body shape, your bust will tend to be a lot fuller, and like basically you'll have a nice bust, and also you will tend to have nice legs. So the idea is to accentuate your best features and to minimize focus on those areas that are not so defined, or generally the areas that you want to reduce attention to. So in terms of the areas that you want to minimize on, that would be obviously your wider areas, so things like your shoulders as well as your midsection. So in terms of creating that more distinguished waist for yourself, you want to go for styles that don't have a natural, like basically they don't have that natural waistline that a lot of maybe dresses do have. You want to go for things that are like empire line shapes, so things whereby it sort of gathers in right underneath your bust, so that way you're going to create a more flattering waist for yourself, something that's a bit more distinguished, because obviously you'll have your bust area which is larger as well as the midsection, so just cutting yourself directly underneath this area is going to create for you that more cinched in waist. Examples of pear-shaped women are Drew Barrymore, Jennifer Hudson and Tyra Banks, so those are good for reference if you ever want to like get a better picture exactly of what a pear shape may look like, because although the way we talk about it may sound like you're somebody that has like a large stomach, or like basically you're really heavy up top, sometimes it's just the slightest differences. So if you refer to these ladies, it may give you a better idea as to whether you're leaning more towards this shape. Your styles. So in terms of like your tops, your blouses, shirts, things like that, as I mentioned previously, your bust will likely be one of your better features. So what you want to do is show that off, but obviously in a nice way, like obviously not doing too much, but yeah, just show off what you have in a nice presentable way. Another thing is that sort of like open necklines and like plunging or lower necklines are great for sort of elongating your upper body half. So where you're wider up top, you want to trim that down as much as you can. So things like V-necks, plunging necklines, just anything that's just going to open you up a bit more and like plunge downwards will help to not only elongate your frame, your upper body, and also to bring you in naturally. If you're not wanting to show off too much skin, you can always go for a higher simple neckline, so something that goes round, like a round neck up here is okay, but generally you want to go for a darker colour just to like slim yourself down, so things like black, navy, that's what you want to go for. Although you can wear higher necklines, you also need to be careful of the styles that you wear. So things like Bardot styles, boat necks, you generally want to stay away from those because they will generally make you look wider. Anything off shoulder like this adds to the shoulders, so you want to try and avoid those styles. In terms of your shirts and blouses, you always want to go for, again, styles that will create a newly defined waist for yourself. You want to go for something that is going to create a newer, smaller, more defined waist. So empire line style tops, A-line style, things that basically sort of cinch you in right underneath your bust area. Those are the styles that you want to go for, because the comparison between your wider bust and then your wider midsection will be more apparent. So therefore creating that more, nipped in waist for yourself. Also, you want to avoid tops that cuff just above or below your midsection. So that's anything like crop tops or just slightly shorter tops. You always want your tops to fall just by your hip bone, just so that again you can create that more streamlined look and appear less top heavy. It'll basically bring you down like that, especially where the top hangs loose enough. You also want to avoid items that have too much fossil detail going on in that midsection area. That's only going to enlarge that area the more. You don't want that, so try and stay away from too much detail going on in that area. You want to leave the details to the lower bottom part of your body, because that's where you're slimmer and you have more room to play with your trousers. So you want to go for like wide leg, boot leg, flared sort of trousers, just because they'll draw more attention to the bottom half of your body, and also the wideness in the trousers will help to balance out with the wideness of your upper half. Skinny fits, or like generally trousers that are too slim, will only make your slim legs look even smaller. So again, you'll bring yourself more out of proportion. So if you want to go for slim trousers, I mean, slim trousers are fine, but it's best to go with a looser top when you're going with those types of styles, because you don't want to define your upper body the more and show how wide it is in comparison to your smaller legs. And again, a longer top with slimmer fit trousers will always go best. In terms of like pockets and details in your trousers, I know I said details on the bottom half is good, but you want to avoid them in the front area, because that's going to draw more attention to your wider mid area. You want to leave all the detail to sort of like, you know, the back. So where as an apple body, most times you tend to have like a flatter bum. So if you leave like all the detailed pockets and things like that, leave that to the back to give you more curve in the back area. In terms of your skirts, you want to again go for A-line style skirts, circle skirts, anything that basically will nip you in at the waist and then flow out towards the hemline. Again, that's creating the illusion of a waist that is not there, but then also balancing out with the wider upper body half. In terms of your dresses, you want to go for empire line style dresses. So empire line is basically where, you know, those dresses that obviously you have a defined bust and waist area, so they're more fitted around the bust and the upper waist area, but then they flow out almost in like princess style-ish. They're very similar to A-line dresses, but what you want to do is basically go for dresses that don't have the natural waistline. You want something that is slightly higher up in your waist. So again, that creates a more defined waist for yourself, because that is the point at which you are likely to be smallest, and then that comparison between your bigger bust versus your wider midsection will be very clear and apparent. So yes, A-line dresses, empire style dresses are your best fits. This also includes wrap dresses, because a lot of wrap dresses tend to have a higher waistline anyway, and anything that is belted is going to help to suck you in up there and just give you that nicer frame. In terms of your jackets, coats, blazers, you want to go for tailored fitted styles that are going to nip you in naturally at the waist. And this is done because they'll create more curve in your shoulders as well as hip area. So naturally your waist is going to appear as if it's smaller, just because you've got those detailed points here and at your shoulders. Your jackets and blazers should generally also stop at hip level, just like the top of your thighs. And that's just because, again, it's going to give you a more streamlined and aligned look, whereby the structure sort of like stops where or below your widest point, so it's going to make everything appear to be like in proportion. In terms of your fabrics, you don't want to you want to avoid fabrics that are too clingy, because again, they're just going to hold on to your wider parts in a quite unflattering way. But at the same time, you don't want your outfits to be boxy or shapeless, because again, they'll make you look bigger than you actually are. There's a perfect balance, so you want to go for nice, like softer materials that will hold on to your curves in the right way and not over bulk you or put the wrong focus onto those body parts, should I say. You want fabrics that are going to give you some stretch, basically sit nicely on your body. So things like viscose, matte jersey, cottons, those type of materials are the materials that you want to go for, because like they skim your curves nicely. That's the easy way to put it. So your cuts, your prints and all that other good stuff, as I mentioned earlier, you want to go for plunging, more open lower necklines, just because they'll elongate that upper body and make you look trimmer in general. But you do want to avoid styles that are too high cut. So off the shoulder, boat neck, halter necks, you want to avoid those styles because they'll just make you look even broader up top. Always go for empire line styles. These are the best mates, literally the best friends. You want to avoid cap sleeves if your arms aren't a feature that you're too proud of or too comfortable with, just because cap sleeves, they sort of cut you off in this weird, like, they're like that. They cut you off in a weird way, and they will tend to make your arms look bigger. And if that's not an area you're too comfortable with, then you want to avoid those. And finally, you want to keep all patterns and details away from that midsection area, because they're just going to add more volume, bulk you up and make you look bigger in that section, and you don't want to do that. So yeah, avoid all the details and patterns, that kind of thing. Leave that to the lower part of your body, so to your trousers and your skirts. Right, so we've come to the end of this week's post. If you are unsure about anything, you want further elaboration, or just have any questions that you want to ask, feel free, drop me a message, drop me a DM, drop me an email. I'm always open and I will respond ASAP. Don't forget, it's not too late to join my private Facebook group. The link is in the blog post to this talk that I've just done. So yeah, hit the link in my bio and you can join the Facebook group, have a read of the blog if you're not much of a watcher or listener, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.